Hey guys, how are you? Welcome into a Tuesday morning edition of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. Great to be back with you guys here on the Daily Juice Podcast. BettingPros.com, always being brought to you by BetMGM. You guys should know by now the BetMGM offer right above me here on YouTube. $10 bet, win $150 on any event. Juice 150. Promo code Juice150 at BetMGM, BetMGM.com on the BetMGM application. Unfortunately for the gambler who had $726,000 riding on that $25 free wager that he had from BetMGM, he does not cash it because, well, the Lions do not cash the plus 400. Of the other 13 legs, the biggest leg he left was the Lions at plus 400. You thought he might have gone with the Packers there, but probably wouldn't have been as big of a payout. But man, that was tough for that guy. If you were wondering what I would have done, I was asked this like 5 times, what I would have done. I would have called every single person that I knew. I would have asked them to give me every last dime that they could possibly scrounge up. And then I would go to a bank. I would go to a money launderer. I would go to a shark. I would go to anybody I possibly could go to get like $350,000 to go and bet on the Green Bay Packers and try my darndest, because $350,000 would have paid out, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of like 50 grand or something like that. So you would have won 50 grand. Okay? It would have been great. You lose your 25 bucks, you win your 50 grand, and away you go. Because the Packers were winning that game yesterday. Everybody knew the Packers were going to win that game yesterday. And unfortunately for that gambler, that parlay does not hit. Not that shocking. Not at all. We all kind of knew that wasn't going to hit. But, you know, it is what it is, unfortunately, for that one gambler. But hedging. And it was a free wager, so there was no offer to cash out. So that's why the guy had to let it roll. But go find a book in Vegas that would have taken it, and pretty much anybody would have taken it. You know, taking the $350K to pay out $50, they would have taken that bet on Green Bay with the shocker if the Lions would have won. They would have taken that bet. So, unfortunately, Green Bay wins, and that big, huge 14-leg parlay does not cash, and so that big bet does not come in and hit. $726 grand on the Lions. Whew. They were winning at halftime. We got that wrong. It was the only half-unit bet we got wrong. -7 didn't come in. Over 48.5 comes in. Team total for the Green Bay Packers comes in. We go 1-1 on the props, so we're up just like a little bit tonight. Just a teeny tiny bit. But it's a winning day, okay? I'm not going to scoff at it. A 4-3 day. Not a huge win by any means, because we're dealing with half units, not full units. But it's a winning day. 4-3, 2-1 on the half units, 1-1 on the prop bets. And so, I mean, MVS was open like 5 times. Rodgers kept on missing him. Like, he could have scored like 2 touchdowns in that game. Kept on missing him. Kept on overthrowing him, throwing the ball too far. That stunk. So we didn't get that prop right, but we did get the Hawkinson yardage prop right. So that came in. That hit for us at -115. So all in all, a winning day. Not big, but a winning day here on a Monday. So here on Tuesday, this is what we're going to do. I've got 2 bets for week 3 in the NFL I'm going to give you today. I'll explain a little bit more as to what bets I'm making, but I'm betting these numbers now because I'm pretty sure these numbers are going to climb, and I think getting these key numbers are important to get them locked in right now, and just kind of hope that there's no COVID problems and big issues or injuries in practice or whatnot that causes these bets. But we have time to buy out of them if we need to. So I'll give you a heads up. There's a chance I could bet the other side to buy out of these bets in case something really big happens. But I am going to give you 2 full unit bets and then 1 bet for baseball for a half a unit. I'm going to give to you because I want to give you something actionable here on a Tuesday. But it's Tuesday betting baseball, so not really in love with it, but here we are betting on baseball. Okay, so let's talk about 2 bets in the NFL. Let's talk about Arizona at Jacksonville. This is going to be an interesting matchup because, man, there's a great guy on Twitter you guys should be following, and his name is Jeff Fogel. Jeff does incredible work. He's based out of Austin, at Jeff Fogel. But he goes down and breaks down all these games after they happen from an analytical standpoint, and he lets you kind of see into some of the real key stats as to what happened. Okay, so I want to look at real quick what happened in the game for the Arizona Cardinals up against the Minnesota Vikings. Arizona played really, really well at times against that Vikings defense. The Arizona Cardinals, they outgained Minnesota 474 to 419, yards per play 7.9 to 7.0, and drives of 60 yards or more. They scored 28 points to 20 points, and they were much better on third down. Their red zone touchdown percentage, 3 out of 4, so at 75% they scored, and then the Vikes missed that very makeable kick to lose the game. Tight game, but the Vikings were a team that if it wasn't for that pick six to start the second half, that caused the Cardinals not to cover. They played really, really well. Now they're on the road against Jacksonville. And Jacksonville is an absolute wreck right now. Jacksonville does not have a team, and this is where the really bad teams, I think, unfortunately, are going to really come back down to earth and look really bad. And I think Jacksonville I just think they're really bad. Against Denver, they only had 3.8 yards per play against Denver. They were outgained 398 to 189 in that. They gave up 20 points for the drives of 60 yards or more, 20 to 7, 96 yards to 75 yards, 2 turnovers. They were 2 for 11 on third down, 18%. Jacksonville's late touchdown kind of made it look a little closer than it actually was. Lawrence was 14 of 33 for 2 interceptions and 118 yards passing. This defense for the Arizona Cardinals can get after the quarterback. And the offensive line for the Jaguars is an absolute mess. They can't really run the football. Trevor Lawrence isn't looking that great, and Kyler Murray's offense is going to eviscerate this team for the Jacksonville Jaguars. This number is going to go up, okay? At Circus Sports in Vegas tonight, it's -7, -110 on the Arizona Cardinals. This number is going to climb. It's going to be 7.5. It's going to be 8. It's going to go higher. I want the best of the number, and you could have maybe gotten 6.5, but this is a key number that I don't want to have to buy off of. I like 7. I know it's a road favorite here, but I think Jacksonville is in a whole lot of trouble up against Kyler Murray because they're not going to stop him in the red zone. And Murray right now, his willingness to run when in the red zone is huge. This is what caused last year the Cardinals to be so dangerous early in the year. Then Murray got hurt, and he didn't run as much late in the year, and it took away a huge weapon for this offense. His ability to get open and scramble in the red zone is elite, and it's not something you can ever prep for. He's so damn fast. Yes, that pick six was horrific. They were lucky to be 2-0. Not debating that point. I just think right now Urban Meyer is a little bit lost. We've got film now on what the Jaguars are trying to do. There's no Travis Etienne. He got hurt, gone for the year. The wide receivers aren't getting open, and I like the secondary for the Cardinals. I love Chandler Jones and Budda Baker and what they've got for that defense. I think this is a blowout. I think Arizona is going to kill the Jacksonville Jaguars. I want 7. I'm going to lay 7 on Arizona up against the Jaguars on the road here for 1 full unit. Second play for week 3 in the NFL. Patriots against the Saints. And you might go, oh no, here comes Matt with the Patriots. Correct. Here's the thing. Patriots, 4 turnovers to none. 4 picks of Zach Wilson. Why? Rookie quarterback. Gonna really cause some problems for any quarterback who's trying to find himself up against a Belichick defense. Playing from behind, the Jets did win the yardage, but yards per play, Patriots 4.9 to 4.6 for the Jets. Third down conversion, the Patriots were better. Pats outrushed the Jets 152 to 101. And my goodness, was Zach Wilson just absolutely horrible. When you combine the Jets and the Jags rookie numbers, they were 33 for 66 with 6 interceptions for 328 yards. My goodness. Top 2 picks last week were just really, really bad. And it has a lot to do with the fact that the offensive lines are just pathetic for these teams right now. Now, New Orleans beat up, and we were on New Orleans against the Green Bay Packers, right? I'm on the Saints on the over. But the Saints have been on the road for a month. The line is 3, -3. The Saints were first supposed to play at home for the game that wound up in Jacksonville. They had a hurricane that came through and decimated their region. They then went on the road to play the Carolina Panthers and got completely de-pantsed and blown out by the Carolina Panthers. Jameis Winston, 2 interceptions, didn't look good. The defense didn't look great either. And now you're back on the road again, this time to New England, to take on the Patriots, who have played at home and New York, and now back at home. They haven't traveled anywhere. This is going to be an exhausted team, which, look, I like Sean Payton a lot, but this is asking a lot of this team to walk into an environment where they lost a home game already. I think Belichick wants to open up 0-2 at home. No. And you know who's coming in week 4. It's Tom Brady, okay? There's just going to be a ton of hype all around that, but the Patriots have to get sharp. They're going to take the Saints really seriously. They're not going to overlook this defense, and Mac Jones sure as heck is not going to do that. Patriots are going to have to run the football, and look, the Panthers had some success. Now, one of the things that I'm really curious about for New England in terms of their offense is, are they going to let Mac Jones throw the football down the field? Because they haven't done that much this year. Carolina, yards per play, 5.2 to 3 in their game against New Orleans. Third down conversion, 53% to 18%. 60-plus yards, scoring drives, 17-0. They outrushed them 89 yards to 48 yards, 2-1 on turnovers, and passing 11 of 22, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns when playing, 2 interceptions when playing from behind. The Patriots getting a lead is going to be important here, but I think this Patriot defense, you just saw what Belichick can do. I'm not saying Jameis Winston's a rookie. Okay, he's not a rookie, not by any means, but they don't have great weapons to throw the ball down the field to, and that Patriots pass rush is legitimate, and they're going to get after Jameis Winston. I think it's going to be a long day here. I think Mac Jones is not going to be allowed to make big mistakes against that very opportunistic defense for the Saints. They're going to run the football. The Saints are a hard team to run against, but I think the Patriots are going to start to allow Mac to do some things at home, and they're going to start to allow him to say, all right, you got 2 straight home games here. Let's get comfortable. Let's start throwing the ball down the field. Let's find Nelson Aguilar. Let's find Kendrick Bourne. Let's use the running backs. James White's going to be a very big key for this offense this year, in particular against the New Orleans Saints. Patriots are -3. I don't want this thing going to 3.5. I would be surprised if it moves off of 3 during the week and goes to 2.5. It might. So if you want to wait, you can. But I don't want to miss 3 here, okay? And I think 3 is a very good number. It's the right number for the Patriots. I just laid 6 with the Patriots, but the Saints aren't the Jets, okay? But the Patriots need to be playing well heading into that game against Tampa Bay. Tampa's going to L.A. That's a crazy game. We'll probably have something on that later. Tampa's going from playing at home to Los Angeles to playing in New England. It's a pretty big 2-week stretch here for Tampa Bay. Bucks are a 1-point dog on the road at the Rams in Los Angeles. But I like the Patriots to lay the 3 with New England at home against New Orleans. Pats -3. I got -105 tonight at Circus Sports here in Vegas. So there may be money coming in on New Orleans, and the next move might be to 2.5. But I don't think they're going to want to get off 2.5, because if Saints money is coming in, I think you will see Patriot money come back if it goes to 2.5. I think the thing probably goes back up to 3. I think it's possible the line closes at 3.5, but I just want the 3. I think it's a key number. It's important. Patriots -3 at home against the New Orleans Saints, and we're going Arizona -7 up against the Jacksonville Jaguars on the road. Arizona a road favorite at -7. Both those bets for 1 unit. Both those numbers are key numbers. That's why I'm betting them now, because I don't want to see this go to 3.5 or 7.5. And again, I'm not positive which way the line's going to go, but I have a feeling that we're going to see Patriot money and Cardinal money, given that the public is most likely going to jump in here and bet these numbers up the closer we get to kickoff. So I want Patriots -3 and Arizona -7. 2 plays, 2 teams I like a lot. And heck, I may even come back with a Raiders play. Who knows? We go with my 3 favorite teams in the NFL. Patriots, Raiders, Cardinals. Why not? For week 3 here in the NFL. But the first 2 bets for the week, Patriots -3, Arizona -7. All right, 1 half unit play to give you for baseball today. It's on ESPN. Toronto against Tampa. Tampa Bay leads the season series 10-7. Rays just won 6-4 yesterday. Tampa Bay offensively went down 1-0, then they went down 2-0 and scored 3 runs in the 5th and then 1 run in the 6th, 7th, and 8th and won the game 6-4. For the game tomorrow, you've got the rookie on the mound for the Blue Jays and Alex Manoah, and you've got Drew Rasmussen, who was acquired at the trade deadline, who's been outstanding since coming over and pitching for the Tampa Bay Rays. This dude, no earned runs in his last start against Toronto, 1 earned run against the Red Sox 2 times in a row, then 1 earned run against Philadelphia, no earned runs in 4 innings up against the Baltimore Orioles. I just think this Rays team at home, and with Drew Rasmussen on the mound, I know that if you look at Alex Manoah's last start up against Tampa, he also was awesome. Maybe his best start of the year. 8 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 10 Ks. He was awesome back on Monday the 13th. Time before that, gave up 3 runs to the Yankees, 6 runs to Oakland, 2 runs to the Detroit Tigers. The bullpen for the Toronto Blue Jays is not good. And I think if Toronto can get Manoah out of there early, you get to that bullpen, I think you can go to work here. You're not paying a really expensive price here on the money line. It's minus 115 on Tampa up against Toronto. I'm going to lay the money line here. I'm going to take the home Rays, who are 48-28 at home. Toronto's 41-35. The Rays just find ways to win and find ways to they lost back-to-back games to the Tigers at home after winning the first 2 games. But the Blue Jays need this, and I'm not saying that the Rays are trying to keep anybody out of the postseason or not, but the standings are just fascinating in the American League East. If you look at the wild card standings right now, Tampa is going to win the division. The Red Sox now are a game and a half up on Toronto. The Red Sox are 2 games up on the Yankees here, and both the Yankees and Toronto have more difficult schedules than the Red Sox do coming down the stretch. Red Sox have won 5 games in a row, and they play the Mets coming up here tonight. The other half a unit, I may come back with a play on the Mets. I'm not positive yet on that. I want to kind of wait and see a little bit. Erod scares me. Marcus Stroman's a better pitcher than Erod is, so that scares me a little bit. But the Mets are so bad on the road, 29-44. Red Sox are minus 140 favorites to win this game. So in the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat to get in, or there's a link underneath me here on YouTube. You guys can come on in. I may post another, or maybe a prop or 2 for baseball. I may take the other half a unit and do something with it. But first bet, minus 115 on the money line. Tampa Bay to beat Toronto tonight. That game is on ESPN. It's the nationally televised game, which I like. Take the home team, take the better of the 2 teams. Toronto, take the Tampa Bay Rays to win at home against Toronto at minus 115 for a half a unit. And I'll figure out the other half a unit maybe with the Red Sox and the Mets at some point. They just did that 30 for 30 on the 1986 World Series where the Red Sox, and it was the first time in my life I had my heart broken. That was the worst year ever. If you're a Chicago fan or a Met fan, screw you. I'm kidding. But, man, talk about little boy Matt Perrault getting his heart broken first in the Super Bowl with the Dancing Bears coming in and the Super Bowl shuffle, and the Patriots get annihilated by Chicago, and then the Red Sox losing that lead 3-1 and blowing it to the New York Mets, and man, Buckner and everything else. It was really tough. In the 80s, it sucked to be a Boston sports fan. Things changed quickly. Things got very good for us for about 20 years. Things still are very good for us, but man, the 80s were not fun at all to be a Boston sports fan. Luckily, things turned and we became championship city, domination. But yeah, so maybe Red Sox and the Mets, something on that. I'll figure something out probably in the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat. Okay, so 3 plays. 2 on week 3 for the NFL. Patriots -3 against the Saints. Cardinals -7 against the Jaguars. Both those full unit bets. And then we're going the Tampa Bay Rays over the Toronto Blue Jays at -115 for a half a unit in Major League Baseball. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. Each and every morning, it's the Daily Juice Podcast right here on bettingpros.com. Always being brought to you by BetMGM.